Don't forget to subscribe!
Hi everyone! Princess Hi-Fi here, and welcome back to my channel.
Gotcha! Mika!
Call me Coco. I am the mermaid princess of the South Pacific Ocean.
My name is Karen. I am the mermaid princess of the Antarctic Ocean. My name is Noelle, and I am the mermaid princess of the Arctic Ocean. I am the pretty guardian who fights for love and for courage. I am Sailor Jupiter. I'll fill you regret. It'll leave you numb. My name is Sarasa. I am E.T.'s sister. Hey, don't forget about me. I'm Roka, and I am Sarasa's sister-in-law.
My name is Kisasoma. The animal in the zodiac that I symbolize is the sun.
Call me Hirosoma. The animal that symbolizes the zodiac is the sheep, and that is me.
A fine pleasure to meet you.
My name is Totoko.
My name is Amakita Mori. I can transform into Amulet Heart, Amulet Spade, Amulet Clover, Amulet Diamond, Amulet Angel, Amulet Devil, and Amulet Fortune. Hello, my name is Lydia. I can transform into Iris Heart.
My name is Bert. I can transform into Green Heart. I am Nico Robin, a treasure hunter. Pleasure to meet you.
My name is Kaylee.
I am Ochako Uraka.
Let's go! Hey! Nice to meet you!
Call me Nejire Haro.
I am Issa Kendo. Pleasure to meet you. What's up, a black star? I'm the Lone.
Pleasure to meet you. I am the head of the Furudu family. Rika Furudu.
I am Kaname Chidori. It's a pleasure.
My name is Hestia. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi there, I'm Machi. Nice to meet you. I am called Rola. Be grateful, I'm not giving you any punishment.
I am Lapicel. Pleased to meet you.
You can call me Sister Nana.
Nice to meet you. My name is Snow White. Pleasure to meet you.
About us, I'm Nikisa 1. And I'm Nikisa 2. Gordo? My name is Hikaru Shido. I represent the element of fire.
My name is Fuhochi, and I represent the element of wind.
I'm Umi Ryuzaki, and I represent the element of water.
Hi, I'm Happy. I'm an exceed from Italia, and a member of the Fairy Tale Guild.
Today, I'm Carla. I am an exceed as well. And we are also in the Fairy Tale Guild.
Hey there, I'm Wendy Marvel. I'm a Sky Dragon Slayer.
My name is Romeo Combo. I'm the only son of Fairy Tale's mage, Macau Combo. And I'm a mage of the Fairy Tale Guild.
I'm Hannah Kosho. I am the mermaid princess of the South Atlantic Ocean.
Glad to meet you. I'm Rina Toyd, and I am the princess of the North Atlantic Ocean.
Hiya, I'm Manatsu. It's a pleasure. Hi, I'm Jen. Nice to meet you. Call me Pony Sumotori. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Senki.
I'll reintroduce myself. I am Xiaomei. I am the narrator of the story you're hearing.
Anna! I'm down!
Hey, I'm Julia. Pleasure to meet you.
I'm Honey Ferdinand. And I'm Ayu Sugimiya. Nice to meet you. My name is Anna. And this is my friend Taro. Anna, and you too. My name is Pleasure to meet you. Also, promise my best on my violin. I am Yukino. Nice to meet you. I am Pikachu Popstar. My songs will reach out to all of you. Pikachu PhD is in the house. Next person, Knockout. Hi, I'm Rena Ryukyu. You are so cute. I want to take you home with me. I am called Alpha 5. It is a great pleasure to make your acquaintance. They also call me Tiger. Nice to meet you.
I am Valerie. Please don't upset me.
Papa Sakura here. Nice to meet you.
I'm Celesta. Nice to meet you. I am Melissa Shield. Please make your acquaintance.
And I am Jasmine, leader of the All Light City Gym. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Reiki Nishimura, a sophomore going for my BS. My mineralogy club meets next door. So hi there, neighbor. You heard that? Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Hey there, I'm
is about to go crazy! With the pulsating power of a driving disco rhythm comes the queen of the boogie beat! I like to tribute summon Tired Ito, the boogie master!
Hi everyone, my name is Kimberly. Hi everyone, it's Kimberly. Hi, I'm Jasmine, a gym leader. Hi, I'm Princess Tachikawa. And I'm Coraline.
Hey everyone, this is Overlocked Phoenix.
So let's get the show on the road.
I bet most of you are pretty confused, so it's not a holiday episode. This is a special review for Tom Hanks and Bob Zemeckis. It's the Polar Express. It was released in 2004 by Warner Brothers Pictures in Castle Rock, and this is one of the most beloved Christmas specials, but according to Rotten Tomatoes, the film originally underperformed at the box office, grossing $286 million against a $170 million budget.
It's history's greatest monster!
As we were all saying, later re-releases helped propel the film's gross to $314 million worldwide. The film was later listed in the 2006 Guinness World Records as the first all-digital capture film. And the film also marks Michael Jenner, aka the original Mr. Noodle, and the voice of Buddy, the golden retriever. It's his last acting role before his death due to epilepsy. And the film is thus dedicated to his memory, as well as this review. Now then, let's go over the development. Tom Hanks first brought the book to the attention of Robert Zemeckis in 1999 in hopes of playing the conductor in Santa Claus. But one of the conditions was for the film to be live action, but Zemeckis thought it would be too expensive and lack the look, feel, and magic of the illustrations he felt was compared to the story. Zemeckis considered 3 ways to make the film, which included motion capture or having live costumed actors blue screen into CGI environments or on real sets with the footage digitally edited into paintings. After building 3 sets to test each technique, the filmmaker settled on motion capture as it provided more creative freedom and less stress than what it came with live action. Tom Hanks would eventually agree to it after much insistence from Robert, having helped him understand what he wanted to achieve. Hanks played 5 roles in this film, including that of a small child, and initially, Zemeckis considered having him play every role, but after trying this, he grew exhausted, and they whittled down the number to 5. With that out of the way, let's ask ourselves a few questions. Number 1, how well does the Polar Express hold up today on Blu-ray? And number 2, does it stand out with the creds and all other specials as well? Let's find out. Keep in mind, we started the journey since day 1. And this is our review of the Polar Express.
Ah, spoiler alert!
Our story begins with a young man named Hero Boy. For the sake of this video, we'll all refer to him as Chris Van Allsburg, as his wish to meet Santa Claus and retrieve the bell from him. On the night of Christmas Eve in the late 1950s, Chris is awakened to a train called the Polar Express pulling up in front of his house that is about to embark to the North Pole. When the conductor invites Chris on board, he is reluctant, but he changes his mind and jumps on as the train leaves. He meets other children abroad, including Hero Girl and a know-it-all child. The train picks up another boy named Billy, who also declines at first, but the train is already moving too fast when he changes his mind. So Chris applies the emergency brake to let him off. The conductor summons a waiter team to serve the children hot chocolate. The Hero Girl styles away one cup under a seat to give to Billy, who is alone in the observation car. When she and the conductor deliver the cup to Billy, Chris discovers the Hero Girl's ticket left on her seat and unpunched. He tries returning it, but loses it to the wind. After the ticket is abused by the wind and animals, it slips back on the train. The conductor comes to punch Hero Girl's ticket, but when she finds it missing, he takes her for a walk on the rooftops of the passenger cars. Fearing how she will get thrown off the train, Chris finds the lost ticket and pursues the Hero Girl and conductor on the rooftops.
Losing the Hero Girl and the conductor, Chris meets a mysterious hobo who claims he is the owner of the train in the North Pole. Desperate to find the Hero Girl, the hobo helps Chris by skiing down the rooftops. Chris jumps into the tender of the locomotive right before they reach Flat Top Tunnel and finds the girl driving the train. After the driver, Steamer, and his aide, Smokey, replaces the light, Steamer witnesses something unusual ahead and orders to stop the train. Chris applies the brakes and they all witness a caribou crossing. The conductor pulls Smokey's beard, causing him to let out animal-like sound effects that made the caribou to clear the tracks out. The train continues on, but the cotter pin of the throttle shears off. Moving at an extreme speed, the train becomes a roller coaster as it crosses Glacier Gulch and enters a frozen lake.
As the ice cracks, the conductor orders Steamer to get on the train to the other side of the tracks, who does so successfully before the ice lake shatters completely. Chris returns the Hero Girl's lost ticket for the conductor to punch. The conductor takes the two children to a room with abandoned toys where Chris is scared off by an Ebenezer Scrooge puppet operated by the hobo, and retreats to the observation car where the Hero Girl and Billy are singing. The trio sees auroras and the train finally reaches the North Pole. Upon arrival, the children notice a lack of elves who are gathering at the square where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas to one of the children. The train reaches a square where the children get off and form lines while Chris and Hero Girl see Billy depressed and alone and in the observation car. They try to convince him to come, but the carriage is uncoupled and rolls downhill backwards. It stops on a turntable after Chris applies the brakes by turning the brake wheel. The trio explores the city until falling on a pile of presents, which are transported in a large bag carried by a pair of zeppelins. The bag is placed on Santa's sleigh where the children are removed by the elves. With the reindeer being prepared, Santa Claus arrives. One nail breaks loose from a harness and the hero and Chris retrieves it. He first hears nothing, but when he believes he hears a beautiful sound. Santa entrusts Chris with a bell as the first gift of Christmas. Santa leaves with his reindeer and a band plays in celebration.
The elves use a handcar to recouple the observation car back to the train and the children prepare to head home. They request Chris to show the bell, but he finds that he has lost it through the red pocket. Though he was devastated for the loss, he regains his spirit after finding out Santa has been to Billy's house. Chris is taken home and everybody else bids him farewell. The next morning, Chris's sister Sarah wakes him up to open the presents, including the bell he lost, which had fallen onto Santa's sleigh. Chris and Sarah both enjoy the sound of the bell, but their parents hear nothing and think it is broken. Chris, as an adult, reflects on his friends and Sarah hearing the bell, but growing deaf to it over the years. However, even though they have grown old, he can still hear its ring, as it does to all who truly believe, thus ending the movie.
Did you know that?
Many shots of this film replicate illustrations from the book, and this film marks the first feature-length film to be entirely in digital capture and to be released in 35mm and IMAX 3D. The second film to be based on a book by Chris Van Allsburg after Jumanji in 1995. It is also the only film based on a book by Chris Van Allsburg not in the Jumanji franchise. Both Warner Brothers' last theatrical film to be rated G, and Michael Jenner's last film role before his passing. And since adult actors did the motion capture for the children characters around the time, oversized props were used to get the movement right. Several allusions to Chris Van Allsburg, the author of the book and executive producer of the film, were made. While the film never mentioned Hero Boy's name, several art books about the film call him Chris, named after Chris Van Allsburg. A University of Michigan pennant appears in his room, and whose method he studied at the University of Michigan. The locomotive in both the book and the film is based on a Pan Marquette 1225, an N1 class locomotive which Van Allsburg used to play on as a child while attending football games at Michigan State University, where it was on static display at the time. The number 1225 can be seen on the keystone of the tunnel entrance of the train as it goes through the ticket journey. After the train picks up Chris, it passes Purplesheimer's, an old department store in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Van Allsburg's hometown. The film's premiere was also held in Grand Rapids. Fritz the dog appears on top of the bedpost in Chris's room just like it did in the book. The magazine he pulls out of his drawer is dated December 29, 1956, even though the film takes place on December 24th. This means either the movie takes place no earlier than 1957 or he must have gotten the magazine way too early. And is contradicted in the Polar Express, the movie trip to the North Pole, which states the story takes place in 1955. Before the train arrives at Chris's house, the alarm clock states in his room that it shows 11:55, the same time when the train arrives at the North Pole, meaning that no time has passed. When he is dropped off, a clock in the living room reads 12 o'clock, the same time Santa left the North Pole. This indicates only 5 minutes passed during the journey. The address of Billy's home is 11344 Edwark Avenue, and this was the childhood home of Robert Zemeckis, the director of the movie. Several references of Back to the Future films, which were also directed by Robert Zemeckis, are actually made in this film. Early in the film, Chris looks at a newspaper showing a crowd at department store Santas protesting with one of their signs saying, "Say yes to Lone Pine Mall construction." Lone Pine Mall is a location of Back to the Future. When Chris pulls the emergency brake to let Billy get on the train, the track-level view of the locomotive's pilot coming to a halt right at the camera is similar to the view in Back to the Future Part 3, when Clara is leaving and applies the emergency brake to stop the train after hearing about Emma Doc Brown's heartbreak. After Chris pulls the train whistle, he says, "I've wanted to do that my whole life." Emmett Brown does and says the same thing in Back to the Future 3. When Smokey and Steamer are trying to catch the pin, the flux capacitor from Back to the Future can be seen briefly. Back to the Future was released in 1985, the same year as the book, The Polar Express. The soldier doll Chris plays with on Christmas morning in the teddy bear in Sarah's bedroom can also be seen in the abandoned toy car. A picture of Babe Ruth, an American professional baseball player, is seen on the wall in Chris's bedroom next to the window just like in the book. The film was released in theaters a year before the book's 20th anniversary. It would have had its home video release and a theatrical re-release a year later, coinciding with the same said anniversary. Now let's take a look at the goofs. The first time Chris goes downstairs, a red snowman skirt is on the tree, but on Christmas morning it is yellow with bells on it. Early in the film, when Chris is in his room, his robe is seen on the bedpost closest to the bedroom door. However, it disappears briefly when his parents visit the room and reappears when Chris looks outside to see the train. There are several moments when footprints left in the snow disappear way too soon. The footprints and skid marks Chris leaves while walking outside disappear when the train leaves. The conductor steps outside to invite Billy on the train, leaving a few footprints which disappear when Billy runs after the train. When the train goes up a hill and Chris and the hobo slide to the back of the observation car, Chris's footprints on the car disappear. But at Herpelsheimer's, when know-it-all says I want all of them, the window on the car displays a reflection of a present pile not seen in the actual store itself. The train normally appears with 5 cars, but the number of cars constantly changes throughout the film. Almost 20 cars are seen as the train passes by the wolves in the forest as it crosses the North Pole Bridge. 7 cars are seen as Chris and the hobo jump from the second to the first car. After Chris gets out of the abandoned toy car, he is transported to the second to last car, meaning that the train has 3 cars in that scene. When the conductor is punching in Chris's ticket, holes are seen flying out of the puncher and onto Chris's face. A grand total of 32 punches are made, but more than 32 holes land in his face. Chris finds Hero Girl's ticket on her seat, but it is not there when she reaches under her seat for the hot chocolate she saved for Billy. When Hero Girl's ticket is stuck on the air intake, it disappears in one shot. As Chris goes into the last car where Billy is, a silhouette of the conductor and the Hero Girl cast from the conductor's lantern can be seen, while the shadow in real life would not cast in that manner. The hobo tells Chris you don't want to be led down the primrose path. However, the primrose path actually refers to an easy life. It would make more sense if he said garden path, which meant to be deceived. The camera angle pans several times when Chris and the hobo are skiing on top of the train. One shot is in front of the train, showing the scene and the two fellows on the third car with two cars between them and the engine. Subsequent pans show them jumping more than 3 times, traveling on more than 2 cars. The sounds the Karibo make in the film are actually those of an elf. When the Karibo clear the track, the conductor says all ahead, slow. The term refers to a ship with multiple engines and does not apply to a train with a single locomotive. When the train goes up Glacier Gulch, the warning sign displays a 179-degree gradient. However, a vertical drop is 90 degrees, so it would make more sense for the sign to say 89 degrees. One shot of the train on the ice lake shows it heading for an iceberg, though it crashes into it much later than it should have. The cracking ice is not seen when the train hits the iceberg, even though this occurred after the pin pierced the ice. The train's distance from the other side of the ice lake frequently increases and decreases with each scene. As the train goes up Corkscrew Mountain, the cars curve around the bend in a rubber-like manner to match the track. However, had they not curved, they would clip the mountain. All the cars' windows appear fully lit from outside throughout the movie, but the abandoned toy car has no lights. In the first shot of the elves marching at the North Pole Square, one elf is static. After the children get off at the square, they line up in 2 rows with Chris and Hero Girl at the back. However, the other children disappear when Chris and Hero Girl tell the conductor about Billy. They reappear in the next shot, but part of the building from the previous shot disappears. The children fling upwards towards the front of the car when it hits the bumper on the turnable. But they should have flown back towards the back since it was that end to hit the bumper. When the children are in the sack of presents, the blimp closes the sack over their heads, but it was shown at eye level in the next scene. The height of the sack of presents constantly changes. The number of children standing at the square keeps changing. When the elves bungee jump to catch the star, they fall faster than the star. When the silver veil falls off the harness and bounces on the ground, its leather straps do not twist and tangle like in a normal manner. Throughout the film, wherever the bell is rung, they hold it by the bell itself rather than the tassels. The electric guitars played in Elf Singer's band were not plugged in. After Chris leaves the bell on the table and walks away, his reflection on the bell disappears.
Now you know!
So we've all give the Polar Express a amazing 8 out of 10.
This film's rating is a 4.5 out of 5.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. What do you think? If you appreciated it, please be sure to smash that like button, and be sure to follow my social media platforms in the description below, and the Team Life Flight's fandom channel. Please be sure to leave a comment below, and give us your open-minded thoughts. We here at Team Life Flight's fandubs do not condone harassment, violence, or trolls allowed. Or otherwise, Red Hoek from Comedy Central's The Ren and Stimpy Show will haunt you down to the ends of the Shadow Realm. So please be sure to subscribe to our channels and click the notification bell. You'll never miss a video the second it goes live on YouTube and Google. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Happy holidays, and have a happy new year, and best wishes for all.
Final results.